Have you ever been in a room full of people, listening to them talk, but you couldn't speak a single word? I've been there. I know what it feels like. To be surrounded by people, to want to speak, but your mind goes blank, and your heart races thinking, what if I make a mistake? What if they laugh at me? This is my story. I was once like that, silent. My English was not good, and I was afraid to speak. But today I'm fluent. I can talk confidently, even in front of a big crowd. But how did I go from being silent to fluent? What was the secret that changed everything for me? Stay with me until the end of this story, and I promise you will learn something new. You will learn new words, how to make sentences with them, and how you can also become fluent in English. This is not just a story. It is a lesson, a journey, and a secret that could change your life forever. I remember the first time I tried to speak English in class. My hands were shaking. I had studied the words, but when it was my turn to speak, I froze. The teacher asked me, "What is your name?" My voice was so quiet that I almost couldn't hear it myself. I said, My name is Emma." The class was silent, and I felt like the whole world was watching me. I wanted to hide. I thought everyone was laughing at me. But no one was. They were just waiting for me to continue. But I couldn't. Later that day, I went home and sat on my bed, thinking about what had happened. Why was I so afraid to speak? I realized it wasn't because I didn't know the words. It was because I was scared of making a mistake. I was scared of how people would react. But then something changed inside me. I made a promise to myself. I told myself no more fear. No more silence. I will practice until I get better. That was the day I decided to make English a part of my life. I would learn and practice every day, even if I made mistakes. Lesson 1: Don't be afraid of mistakes. I want to share with you a powerful lesson that changed everything for me. Mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are part of the learning process. When I stopped being afraid of making mistakes, I started speaking more. Even though my first sentences were simple, I didn't care. I wanted to keep going. At first, I would practice English alone. I started by reading aloud, repeating words and sentences over and over again. It felt weird, but it was working. Every time I said a word, I felt a little more confident. Slowly, my fear started to disappear. But it wasn't just about practicing alone. I knew that to truly get better, I had to speak with others. So I began talking to my friends in English. I started small. I would say simple sentences like, "How are you?" or "What is your favorite color?" It felt strange at first, but I pushed through. Then something amazing happened. My friends started responding in English. I couldn't believe it. I was finally having conversations in English. It was like a dream come true. Lesson 2: Practice with others. I learned that practicing with others is one of the best ways to improve your English. Speaking with people who are willing to help you is so important. They can correct your mistakes and they can help you learn new words. It was through these small conversations that I started to feel more comfortable speaking in English. One of my most emotional moments happened one evening when I was talking to my friend Olivia. We had been practicing together for months, and that day we had a long conversation in English about our dreams and goals. For the first time, I didn't need to pause and think about every word. It just flowed. And in that moment I realized I've come so far. The secret to becoming fluent. The secret to becoming fluent in English is simple consistency. Every day, practice a little bit. Talk to someone, read, or watch videos in English. And most importantly, don't be afraid of mistakes. They are just stepping stones to success. But there's something more. There's something else that helped me. Do you want to know the secret? It was when I started to think in English. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it works. When you start thinking in English, it's like the words just come to you without thinking. It's like magic. At first, it was hard. I would think in my native language and then translate it into English. But with time, I started thinking directly in English. And that's when I realized I was fluent. The words came naturally. Lesson 3: Think in English. Thinking in English is the key to fluency. I know it's hard at first, but try it. Start with small things. For example, when you wake up in the morning, think, what do I need to do today? In English. Or when you go shopping, try to say the names of items in English. Little by little, your mind will start to switch to English. As I got better at English, I started feeling proud of myself. But one moment stands out. I was at a family gathering and everyone was speaking in their language. But I decided to speak in English. It was scary at first, but then something amazing happened. They understood me. They were surprised, and they even praised me for my effort. I felt like I had finally broken free from the silence. That moment brought tears to my eyes. I realized that this journey wasn't just about learning a language. It was about believing in myself. It was about breaking through my fears and becoming the person I always wanted to be. So here's the lesson I want you to take away from my story: you are capable of more than you think. Don't let fear or doubts hold you back. If I can go from silent to fluent, so can you. Keep practicing. Keep learning. And remember, mistakes are just part of the journey. If you enjoyed this story, if it touched your heart, please like and subscribe. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me keep going. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever struggled to speak English? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this journey together.